various universities, research institutions, public sectors, and private companies, local and internationally. Mostly from, of course, Malaysia. Okay, and then we have from Indonesia, China, Nigeria, and also from Botswana. So I think that's a great thing. And I thank all of you for joining us today. Okay. And the seminar will basically open your eyes about functional research and current updates. That is going to be presented by Professor Farooq. He is a well-known professor in this area, and he has a lot to share with everyone in this field. So without further ado, I would say, clap for yourself for joining this, okay? And then congratulations again for joining this too, because this is actually a very big opportunity for you. Probably you think it's nothing, but it's actually an achievement for you to be here together with us to get new knowledge and probably share this knowledge later with a lot of other people that you know. Okay, so with that, I will pass back to Sabri. Thank you again, and I hope this seminar will be very helpful. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Radia, for welcoming everyone. So, as Dr. Radia mentions, this is a series of seminar related to the food analysis, right? So before we invite Prof. Farooq to share his view on the functional food and nutraceutical, I would like to read the brief citation for the Prof. Farooq. Prof. Farooq Anwar, with PhD in analytical chemistry from NCEAC, Jamshore, right? And has more than 23 years experience in national in Pakistan and also at international level, right? So he earned 2 postdoctoral fellowship from University of Lethbridge, Canada, from 2007 to 2008, and after that he came to UPN from 2010 and 2011. So that time I did my master's, and then Farooq was postdoctoral students, postdoctoral researcher in our research group. And after that, he served as associate professors at Serdang Abdul Aziz University, Al Faraj, Saudi Arabia, for almost 3 years. And after coming back from Saudi Arabia, he then served as director of Office of Research Innovation and Commercialization, like RMC. In our UPN, we call as RMC, right? So that one was from 2018 until 2023, this last year. Then he also, at the same time, he also served as director of Institute of Chemistry. So means that he having 2 chairs at one time, right? So he's a busy guy that time, but now he with us as a visiting professor until next year, so more relaxed. So we just take his time to share with us his very vast experience. Okay, he published more than 300 publications, 800 impact factor, right? So hash index is 91, extremely high, not really high, extremely high. And then Scopus index 72. Okay, he was awarded as a productive scientist of Pakistan and fellow of Chemical Society of Pakistan, Dr. Ataur Rahman Gold Medal Prize in 2010, and was Young Affiliate Fellow in 2009. So many awards got, and also enlisted as top 2% world scientists. I think that one last year data, right? So with that, I would like Farooq to share with us his presentation. So we're going to have 2 sessions. The first one, the first part will take around 30 to 40 minutes, and we're going to have a break around 5 to 10 minutes, and then we go to the second part, similar time. Only then we go for Q&A. So I hope you can wait for that one at the end of the presentation. Right? Thank you. Yeah. Please. Just wait. Boleh? Ya. Di priority set. The mouse to ya. Ya. Banyak ya. Ya. Lumayan. Wah, ini boleh sih. Ya, yang ini. Ya. Minimize. Yeah, you can use it. Yeah, that's it. Working here from here, no. 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 Oh, yeah, no, it's so. Yeah, good. I can just change from here. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you for kind introduction and inviting for this today's seminar on functional food and nutraceutical. The outlines of this presentation includes two sections. In the first, I will try to give an overview about the basic concept of functional food and the science of nutrition, optimal nutrition especially. And we will also discuss about some important functional food components which are responsible for the medicinal benefits of functional foods. So let me start. The science of nutrition is relatively a new concept. If we compare with the classical sciences like chemistry, physics, and mathematics,
this is relatively a new science. However, this science has progressed over the years. For example, starting in first 50 years of the 20th century, the major focus of the scientific community was on some essential nutrients like vitamins and minerals, their deficiencies, and mostly the scientific community was working on the effect of these nutrients on communicable diseases. However, in the last two quarters, especially in 1980s, the science of optimal nutrition has been developed. It's a modern science. In traditional nutrition, mostly we focus on intake of nutrients which are the need of the body, which are needed for the bodily functions. For example, you need lipids, you need proteins, carbohydrates to just carry bodily functions. However, in optimal nutrition, the major focus is on intake of those foods which not only provide you the nutrients, but also they have some physiological benefits. So the optimal nutrition is a modern nutritional science which focuses on the intake of foods which are known as functional foods. Okay. Yeah. Basically, the beginning of this science started with an idea, with the concept of revival of interest in the use of plants as a source of food and medicine. In fact, plants are a great blessing of nature. They are the most important source of molecular oxygen. They are the base of most beautiful ecologies on this world. And they provide not only food, they are also a very good source of different types of fuels, especially biofuels. And the most important thing is plants also are one of the richest source of different types of secondary metabolites, which are known as functional components, high value components. And due to presence of such type of high value components, the plant foods are always healthy. And recently, the functional nutraceuticals, which are derived from different fruits and vegetables, they have a very strong impact on the principle of nutrition and complementary and alternative medicine. Now, this science is at a very upgrade stage, and we are thinking about the use of nutrigenomics like proteomics like techniques. Especially, we are going to study the function of the nutrients at the genomic level. So basically, the beginning of this science has this very strong basis. The idea of this science is not a very new. About 2,500 years ago, a Greek philosopher, Putra, he has a very important statement: "Let food be the medicine, and medicine be the food." So this is not a new idea. Basically, the concept of food is, as medicine is basically belonging to dating back like 2,500 years ago. And on the basis of this school of thought, the Japanese started working on this new science. And they tried to study the function of the nutrients and try to explore the boundary between food and medicine. And basically, this is very important because prevention is better than cure. So instead of having some diseases, you can start with some preventive measures. And the Japanese basically started this science in 1980s. There was a research group who, for the first time, started working on exploring the interface between food and medicine. And they developed a new category of foods in 1991, which was named as the foods for specialized health uses. So this term was for the first time introduced in 1991. Later on, the term physiological functional food was first appeared in Nature News in 1993, with the title "Japan Explores the Boundary of Between Food and Medicine." So basically, Japan is the birthplace of this science. Japanese focused on this statement of Hippocrates, and they started exploring the boundary between food and medicine. Definitely, food and medicine have a very strong relationship. And the plants, especially in the nature, eras, especially in old civilizations, plants have always been used as a source of food and medicine is not like a new concept. If you go in like Red Indians, Native Americans, they always use or still plants based medicines, folk medicines, they are an important integral part of many civilizations, even African countries and Asia. Approximately 70% of the people still rely on folk medicine for their primary healthcare needs. Yeah, functional food definition, there is no universally accepted definition of functional foods. However, different nutrition bodies and different health departments, they have defined them. Ultimately, if you look the definition of Health Canada, a food which is similar in appearance to or maybe a conventional food that you consume as a part of normal diet and is demonstrated to have physiological benefits, or it may have the potential to reduce certain diseases beyond basic nutrition. Another definition comes from United States Institute of Medicine, Food and Nutrition. According to this, any food or food ingredient that may provide a health benefit beyond the traditional nutrients it contains. Similarly, another definition, foods that by virtue of the presence of physiologically active food components provide health benefits beyond basic nutrition. In a simple sense, basically, functional foods are those foods which provide you health benefits. Definitely, every food has some nutritional role, it has some function. Like it's a source of taste, it's a source of aroma, and it's a part of culture. But the functional foods are those foods which, in addition to having nutritional value, do have some medicinal value. In like a simple sense, in a single statement, functional foods are those foods which, in addition to having some nutritional value, also have some physiological functions. And these physiological functions, the medicinal benefits of these foods are due to presence of different types of high value components which are naturally present in those foods. Okay. Until now, universally accepted, there is no definition. However, different bodies have already defined different terms, and Japan is the only country who basically is the leading country, and it has recognized the functional foods as a distinct category. And in Japan, this science is, you can say, it's now at the most advanced level. However, the development of this science is in North American region, in Europe and USA, everywhere. But in Japan, more than 1,000 products have been already specified and categorized as functional foods. Japan is the leading, especially in terms of development of this science. Yeah, and here I try to make it a more simple. How a traditional food is different from a functional food. Traditional food, definitely, it may be a source of energy, it may be a source of nutrition, and it may be a source of organoleptic flavor. We are consuming many foods as a dietary component traditionally. And as far as a functional food is concerned, a functional food has an added value. In addition to having a nutritional role, it can supply you the nutrients, it can be a source of organoleptic and socio-cultural tradition properties. And the third one, the added value is it can improve your health. It can reduce the incidence of certain diseases, or it can help to cope with the challenges of oxidative stress, like diseases or civilization diseases, non-communicable diseases. Okay, so simply speaking, a traditional food and a functional food vary in the regard of because the functional food has an additional value. Okay, and this additional value is the medicinal benefit of those foods. Yeah. There is another term you have seen in the literature, nutraceuticals. Functional food and nutraceuticals are now an emerging science. This is a very modern area, especially in nutritional sciences. This is the latest developments. So, how a nutraceutical is different from functional food? Functional food, maybe the whole foods. However, the nutraceuticals are those bioactive principles, those high value components which are isolated from any food and they can be sold in medicinal form. So, for example, you have a flaxseed oil. Okay, this flaxseed oil is very rich in omega-3 fatty acids. You can isolate these omega-3 fatty acids and they can be sold in the form of like a capsule. So it's a typical example. Similarly, there are many mineral pills, vitamins, carotenoids, phytosterols, phenolic extracts which are available in the market, and you can see in all pharmacies nowadays, you will see a separate section which deals with the nutraceutical and health supplements. So basically, nutraceuticals are extracted, they are derived from any functional food, they are in purified form, and they are sold in the medicine form. Okay. And natural health products is another very close term which relates with the nutraceutical. They are almost same. However, natural health supplement, dietary supplements, also known as, they can be sold in dosage form and they can be used for the purpose of diagnosing, treating, or reducing the disease risk and restoring the function and maintaining the health of human beings. Yeah. Here you can see a typical example of nutraceuticals, for example, omega-3 capsule, omega-3 fatty acids are available in the market. There are vitamin pills, different fat-soluble and water-soluble vitamins. You can see many herbal supplements, oil gel caps are available, and natural health supplement, a variety of a broad range of natural health supplements are available in the pharmacy, although they are quite expensive if you compare with the conventional foods. You can see beta-glucine isolated from oats, and you can find some phenolic antioxidant extracts and phytosterol, which have been extracted from different plants. They are sold in the market. And most importantly, omega-3 fatty acids, very important, which are isolated from flaxseed, because flaxseed is one of the richest sources, or they can be extracted from some fish oil, because fish oil are highly rich in polyunsaturated fatty acids. Similarly, essential fatty acids, some biopeptides, enzymes, carotenoids, prebiotics, probiotics, all this type of products you can see in the market. Especially some vitamin and mineral pills are also available. Yeah. How the science of function food supports the idea about the beneficial and health effects of function foods. Basically, functional foods have some physiological functions. In a simple sense, they have some medicinal value. They do have some nutritional value also, but in addition to providing some nutritional value, they provide you the medicinal benefits. And these medicinal benefits of such foods are due to the presence of different type of high value components, especially the carotenoids, phytosterols, essential fatty acids, and especially the polyphenols, phenolic acids, tannins, lignans, coumarins. There are a variety of plant bioactives which are prepared naturally by a built-in system through by the plants as a part of the defense system. Plants can synthesize different types of secondary metabolites through different pathways, especially like phenolics, carotenoids. There is a fatty acid pathway, there is a isoprenol pathway, and polyphenol pathways. So basically, the health benefits of functional foods are due to the presence of such type of high value components naturally. So if we talk about the potential health benefits of functional food, you can have a wide spectrum of medicinal benefits and nutraceutical attributes. Especially these foods are important in the early development and growth. They can regulate different basic metabolic processes in the body. Especially, and they have a very important role against oxidative stress-related diseases, which is, the major cause of different oxidative stress-related diseases like aging, inflammation, and carcinogenesis, cancer. And other important civilization diseases, the cardiovascular diseases. Civilization diseases are those which are common in almost all civilizations, like diabetes and cardiovascular issues. These are cancer. These are most common diseases. So functional foods are very helpful to cope with the challenges of cardiovascular and gastrointestinal health disorders. They can improve your mental health, and especially they can be very helpful in improving the immune system. And they can provide you also, most importantly, benefits against infectious diseases, because of many antimicrobial agents which are present, especially like polyphenols. So such compounds can be helpful in fighting these infectious diseases. Yeah. Broadly, we can classify these plants. The traditional food are lacking in such type of high value components. So the presence of these phytochemicals, secondary metabolites, is basically responsible for health benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here I have few slides to show you different high value components. For example, you can see the name of these high value components and their sources, important sources, and their potential biological and physical activities. Talking with the first class, which is the carotenoids. Carotenoids are an important class of phytochemicals, especially alpha carotenoid, beta carotenoid, which are mostly present in many foods, vegetables. Carrots are one of the richest source of different types of carotenoids, especially alpha and beta carotenoid. Another very important carotenoid is the lutein, which is mostly present in green leafy vegetables. And lycopene is another functional carotenoid, which is mostly present in tomatoes. So carotenoids, which are mostly present in vegetables, fruits, they have very important nutraceutical properties, especially they are helpful in neutralizing free radicals, which may cause damage to different cells. And they can also reduce the incidence of different muscular degenerative disorders. And especially they are also helpful fighting certain cancers. Another very important class of functional component are the dietary fibers, especially insoluble fibers and crabs, beta-glucine, soluble fiber, polysaccharides, oligosaccharides, all these type of, including lignans even and other associated plant components. Mostly these are present in cereals and different plants, especially wheat and barley, rice. They are one of the richest source of different type of dietary fibers. And these dietary fiber are also very important with regard to reducing the incidence of certain cancers, especially colon cancer, and they can especially help to maintain the digestive tract, and they can also reduce incidence of different cardiovascular disorders. Another very important class of functional component are the fatty acids, especially the essential fatty acids, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Although vegetable oil are an important source of different types of fatty acids like palmitic acid, oleic acid, essential fatty acids are those which the body cannot synthesize, especially C18-2, C18-3, and C24. Linoleic acid, linolenic acid, and arachidonic acid. These are the three important fatty acids which can be classed as the essential fatty acids. and they must be provided through some like diet because the body cannot synthesize. And especially among the plants, flaxseed is one of the richest source of omega-3. Almost 55% CAT3 is present in flaxseed oil. And flaxseed, have mainly used for especially as an anti-inflammatory agent because these essential fatty acids are the biggest of important hormones, prostaglandins. They are in that sense very important. And another very important fatty acid is the conjugated linoleic acid, CLA. Mostly it's present in cheese and dairy products. These essential fatty acids, especially among the plants, you can see the flaxseed is the good source. Another very important source is the hemp seed oil. Hemp seed oil also has about 50% of CAT2. Almost 85% CAT2 plus CAT3 are also present in hemp seed. And flaxseed is one of the richest source of omega-3. Then comes the fish oils, because fish oils are also very rich in high polyunsaturated fatty acids, especially C25 and C26. C25 is a eicosapentaenoic acid and C26 is the docosahexaenoic acid. Basically, the C25 means there are 5 carbon-carbon double bond. CH3 means there are 3 carbon-carbon double bond. It's a basically polyunsaturated fatty acids. So this EPA and DHA, they are mostly present in fish oil, not in plants. But CH2 and 3, they are present in plants.
Dr. Sabri, I think again some issue with its change. Huh? Close. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So here you can see some structures of chemical structures of some important fatty acids, including the CH2. There are some short chain fatty acids and some long chain fatty acids. In short chain, especially having the carbon chain from C3 to C6 propionic acid and lower class decanoic acid, pentanoic acid. And among the long chain, you can see alpha linolenic acid, you can see EPA and DHA. Okay. This one is the alpha linolenic acid, CA23, then you see pentanoic acid, C25, and then there is the docosahexaenoic acid. Okay, it's the same structure you can see here, and it's separate. The first one is the alpha linolenic acids, omega-3, and the second one is both are also from the same family, EPA and DHA. You have listened a new term of omega-3. What's the omega-3 basically? Omega-3 is like a new nomenclature. Okay? There is nothing difference in a systematic nomenclature. We start the carbon numbering of any fatty acid from the carboxylic end. There are two ends of this, fatty acid. One is the methylene encrypted end, the other is the carboxylic end, there is a COOH bond. So in normal, in IUPAC nomenclature, we start the carbon numbering from this like carboxylic end. Okay, so the name of the first compound, which is the CH3, the common name is the cis-9-12-15 acid. Okay, so there are 3 carbon-carbon double bond at 9, 12, and 15 position. But in terms of omega system, we start the carbon numbering from the methylene encrypted end, the other end. And the first carbon is the omega-1 carbon, and you go this way, and the first carbon-carbon double bond is at 3rd position. So it can be classed as omega-3. Okay. Same is the case for other EPA and DHA. CH2 is omega-6. CH2 is a linoleic acid. It has 2 carbon-carbon double bond. One is at 9th, other is at 12th position. So if you start numbering from the methylene encrypted and first carbon-carbon double bond will come at 6th position. So CH2 belongs to omega-6 family, whereas CH3, alpha linolenic acid, it belongs to omega-3 family. Okay, so this is the difference. It's just like a style of naming, especially when we are talking about the efficacy and efficiency of any biological compound, especially fatty acid, we can name as a N3 or omega-3 fatty acid. Okay, you can see many important sources. Canola oil has about like 15% of omega-3. It's not a very high quantity. Flaxseed is an amazing and exceptional source of omega-3. It has almost more than 50% omega-3. Okay, and then you can see walnut and some other beans. They do have some amount. The fish are the most important source of EPA and DHA. Okay, some other phytochemicals. You can see phytosterols. These are the plant sterols. Those phytosterols are basically plant-derived sterols. Cholesterol, derived from animal fat is a bad cholesterol, especially there are two classes, LDL and HDL. But in plants, these phytosterols are healthy compounds. And they especially are very important in terms of reducing the incidence of cardiovascular diseases, especially different cereals, legumes. They are very important source. Oils, vegetable oil also have a certain quantity of phytosterols. Beta cytosterol is a major component which is present in these plants. Okay, and another very important class of functional component is the prebiotic and probiotics. These are very important terms. Prebiotics are mostly the non-digestible carbohydrates, and especially based on fructooligosaccharides, and they are mostly present in whole grains, cereals, and they can help you to improve the growth and quality of intestinal microflora, and they can be very helpful in gastrointestinal health. Especially if you talk about the probiotics, these are basically the beneficial bacteria like lactobacillus or streptococcus thermophilus. Especially the fermented foods are very good source of different types of probiotics. Similarly, another very important high value component are the sulfides and thiols, especially disulfides and other organic sulfur compounds, which are mostly present in spices, especially garlic, onion, are very important source of this type of high value components. And these compounds have very important role, especially as a natural detoxifying agent in the body, especially this garlic, onion derived compounds are very important. Another class, you can see the tocols. Tocols collectively basically is a term which is used to demonstrate or describe tocopherol and tocotriol. There are two types of compounds. These are the natural and compounds which are present in vegetable oils, tocopherols and tocotriols. There are 4 different isomers: alpha, tocopherol, beta, and gamma, and delta. Overall, they have vitamin E potency. Okay, so most of the vegetable oils, they are having a certain amount of these tocols, palm oil like canola, sunflower. Okay, however, during processing, there is a chance that a significant amount of these tocopherol is, destroyed during processing. So some of the industries are also, spiking their products. They are adding artificially, but these compounds are very important. They are natural and useful compounds, and especially they are helpful to fight against different oxidative stress-related diseases. Yeah. Phenolics and biopeptides, very important class. I segregated this because this is one of the wonderful class of high value components, functional components, which are present in different foods. Especially the plants are one of the richest source of different types of polyphenols, soya, like tea, grapes, and olive, an amazing source of different types of hydroxytyrosol and caffeic acid and polyphenol compounds. Chocolate also contain different catechins, epicatechins, and fruits and vegetables. Among the fruits, especially the fruits which are known as the small fruits like cherries, strawberries, blueberries. The red colored fruits, they are an amazing source of different types of polyphenols. Basically, the different colors of these fruits and the leaves, they are basically due to presence of this type of polyphenols, especially anthocyanins and other related compounds. All these compounds as a whole class of phenols, polyphenols, they have antioxidant activity, they are antimicrobial agents, and they are very helpful to fight against different types of diseases in the living systems. Yeah, here you can see some other sources of different types of polyphenols, especially the citrus, an important source, especially the citrus peel is an amazing, very rich source of different type of polyphenol cereals, grains like from wheat, barley, oat. They are also very important source. And spices and herbs, another potential source, vegetables, especially rich in different types of flavonoid and isoflavones and phenolic acids, and especially the berries, cranberries and chocolate, flaxseed, and they are rich in highly polymerized phenols, polyphenols like tannins and lignans. Overall, all these compounds have antioxidant potential in addition to having multiple other biological activities. Yeah, here you can see overall the classification of these phenol compounds, especially these compounds are synthesized in the plants through a phenyl propanoid pathway. Basically, nature has a built-in system in plants, and the plants can synthesize these compounds using thus primary metabolites, like which are the major source of nitrogen, phosphorus, and so on. So these phenolic compounds may be present in different forms. Some of them are present in free form, which are mostly present in plant vacuoles. Another very important form is the esterified or conjugated phenolics, which may be covalently bonded to some like fatty acids or carbohydrates or sugars through a glycosidic linkage. And another class is, which is known as the insoluble bond phenolics. These are those phenolics which are very important, however, it's very difficult. They are not available in most of the cases. Why? Because they are basically covalently bonded to the plant cell wall structural components. And especially we can use enzymes to hydrolyze this type of compounds. So here you can see that phenolic acids. Then we have flavonoids, we have stigmins, coumanins, and lignans, tannins. Phenolic acids are the simplest phenolic compounds. Then comes the polyphenols, which are the flavonoids, anthocyanins like camphorol, glycine, so and so. Then highly polymerized are the lignans and tannins. Okay, they are further, they have different further classes, and you can see in this slide their overall distribution. Yeah. Here you can see structures, chemical structures of some of these important compounds present in different plant materials. Yeah. Here you can see the fruits and vegetables and herbs, spices, and there are many other foods, and there are many drinks, tea, herbal, especially chocolate and coffee. All these are a very important source of different types of polyphenols. Yeah, another, especially the red colored fruits, especially they are rich in different types of polyphenols, flavonoids, including the quercetin and the catechins and anthocyanins. Basically, the color of these foods, especially the choke cherries, blueberries, and red berries, strawberries, and other fruits which are especially colorful. This color is due to presence of different type of anthocyanins and flavonoids. Yeah, here you can see another slide showing high content of different types of polyphenols in different products. Especially you see like blueberry and raspberries and especially red grapes and pomegranates, choke berries, and purple corn. All these are very important source of different types of anthocyanins. Yeah. As far as the biological potential and nutraceutical prospects of these polyphenols is concerned, you can see in the slides, all flavonoid and polyphenol rich foods have multiple nutraceutical properties. They have antioxidant free radical trapping potential. They are neuroprotective, and they have very important role as an anti-inflammatory agents and antimicrobial, especially they can be used as preservatives, and they do have cardioprotective role, and most importantly, because of their antioxidant potential, they are also anti-carcinogenic. So these polyphenols have a multiple biological effects, not only one activity, like anti-inflammatory, anti-carcinogenic, and cardioprotective, and even anti-diabetic activities, because oxidation is also linked with the diabetics. And so all natural antioxidants are also anti-diabetic compounds. Yeah. Here you see another very important novel class of organic compounds, which have gained a lot of attraction of scientific research recently, biopeptides. Especially now there is a much focus on plant-based proteins. Although different animal products are a very good source of different proteins, like meat, milk. But now there is a major focus on some sustainable food production systems, especially in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The future should be, maximum focus should be on sustainable food production system, which should be available to all like populations across the world. So biopeptides are one of the most important novel class of organic compounds. These are the new class of organic regulators, especially they are present in different plant materials like cereals, legumes, beans, and many of the vegetable and food bioprocessing and agro waste. They are a very potential source of different types of biopeptides. Especially biopeptides can have a lot of biological potential in terms of their biological activities, especially their AC inhibitory activity, their antioxidant activity, antimicrobial activities. And these biopeptides can be obtained from different plant sources by the hydrolysis of proteins. And you can see soybean, meal, rice bran, and coconut pulp. They are one of the very potential source of for the extraction and isolation of different types of biopeptides. We can use enzymatic hydrolysis for converting this protein into protein hydrolysates. And this is one of the major methods used in practice. Another approach is the use of fermentation, which also is a significant alternative to the conventional enzymatic approaches. Okay. So these biopeptides have wide range of biological and nutraceutical potential. Yeah. Recently, agro industrial wastes, as I told, like soybean meal, rice bran, and coconut, these are coming on the forefront as a potential source of different types of biopeptides. There are many agro-processing industries which are producing a huge quantity of agro wastes. There is a new concept of biocircular economy. So instead of disposing of these agro waste in an ill-controlled manner, leading to environmental contamination, we can use these agro waste materials for biocircular economy and through the concept of value addition, because these agro wastes can be extracted. They can be valorized for extraction of different types of high value components, not only polyphenols and other phytochemicals, but they are also rich in different types of biopeptides. So protein can be extracted. So in this way, they can be valorized, especially those which are from industrial wastes. And we can explore their medicinal value through different biological principles. They have antioxidant, antimicrobial, anti-cancer, and AC inhibitory activities. There are different technologies which are being used, and nowadays you can see different biopeptides are available even in the market. They have been specially isolated from different types of plant proteins. The process of biopeptide production is a simple. You have a raw material which is definitely nowadays much focuses on plant-based proteins. Although animals are proteins are a good source, however, for sustainable food production, we should focus on plant proteins. So you have this plant protein. They can be proteins can be hydrolyzed, produce biopeptides. Basically, amino acids are the building block of protein. Amino acids are linked to amide linked to form peptides, and these peptides are linked to form the proteins. Proteins are like a bigger molecule, and the smaller unit are starting with the amino acids. Basically, amino acids are there, which are the building block. There are about 20 different types of amino acids present, and you can start with the hydrolysis, either using enzymatic approaches, or you can use like fermentation technology to produce these protein hydrolysates, and they can be further purified, and they can be further subjected for structural elucidation using state-of-the-art new techniques like MS, and we can focus on targeted biopeptides, especially looking into like antioxidant or antimicrobial, covalent, anti-tumor, anti-inflammatory, and anti-hypertensive activities. There are many food plants. I can give you one very important example of moringa. You know, moringa is present. It's a very important food plant, and the cores of this plant are cooked. The leaves, even the flowers, they can be cooked as a vegetable. And this plant has, originated a new emerging industry, moringa product. You can see a lot of moringa products in the market, especially in Philippines. Even in here, Malaysia, we have moringa. In Pakistan, like India, and they are the big, producers of moringa. And moringa, seed is an amazing source of biopeptide, which are polyelectrolyte. This protein has a polyelectrolyte charges, and this is used as a natural coagulant. And you can use these seeds for water purification. In addition to having many other multiple biological activities and nutraceutical attributes, these seeds of moringa, because of the presence of this polyelectrolyte protein, they are used in the water form for the clarification of the water. Muddy water, you can add just seeds, and after some time you will see all particles and other microbial load has been settled in the form of fluctuates and coagulation. As a result of coagulation and fluctuation, and you will see the water is very neat and clean. So biopeptide, basically, this is the another aspect of the use of biopeptides. They can also be used as a natural coagulants, and this is a typical example. Moringa seed is a wonderful, amazing natural coagulant which can be used for purification of water. Yeah, I think for the first session, this was the last slide. So thank you for your questions. For question, I think got to start this and see.
Right. Thank you, Farooq, for the first session. So we take a break for 5 minutes for refreshments, right? Before you continue the second one. Thank you.
because of the presence of different types of high value components like apple, grapes, fruits, cherries. All these are typical examples of whole function food, cereals, grains, vegetables, because they are naturally, they contain high value components and they have some medicinal uses, and there is a strong evidence in the scientific literature. And the diets which are rich in plant foods and especially the fruits and vegetable based diets, they have a very strong correlation with the incidence of lower incidence of different types of diseases. Fortified products are another class which are those foods to which some nutrients have been added in addition to what have been lost during processing, especially during post-harvest processing. Enriched foods are those to which new nutrients or components which normally are not present, they are added. And altered foods are those in which some potentially harmful components have been altered, have been changed, have been removed, or have been reduced. And the last class of functional food is known as enhanced commodities. And these are those where we have changing raw commodities to altered nutrient composition.
Dr. Sabri, again, your check, please.
Yeah. I have, I should be a little bit like fast because we have to wind up this in like 30 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
Here we have like a simple slide showing the some details about the basic whole foods which are naturally present. You can see a variety of foods which are taken, which are consumed as routine dietary components like cereals, grains, and soya-based products, fruits and vegetables, especially soft foods, green tea and lentils, beans, hemp, flaxseed oil, and especially the fish being rich in highly polyunsaturated fatty acids, and tomatoes and tomato products and naturals. Yeah, fortified products have different categories, like we can have calcium fortified milk and beverages. You can see on the shelf many products which are fortified, yogurts which are fortified with some probiotics. There are many drinks which have been fortified with different types of herbal extracts, and folic acid and iron fortified breads and other cereal products are available. There are margarines which have been fortified with vitamin D and iodized salt is a simple example of the fortified products in the market. Yeah, enriched foods are those in which vitamins or minerals enriched by products, especially they can be added in white bread and products containing added fiber and pro and symbiotics. Similarly, products which have added omega-3 fatty acids and calcium-enriched food uses are there. Plant phytosterol-based margarines are available in the market. And similarly, you can also find lignin-enriched flaxseed available. Yeah, altered foods, especially canola is a typical example of canola, because canola, you know, canola belongs to Brassica family, Brassica or Brassica campestris. And the problem with this family is it has a high content of russoric acid. And another anti-nutritional factor is the glucosinolates. So the Canadians in 1980s, they felt this crop, canola. And the canola is low in russoric acid. Russoric acid is a C22 fatty acid. This is a toxic. It has some side effects. So canola has almost zero, or it has below 2%. Similarly, glucosinolates is another component which is present in Brassica family, like in mustard and rapeseed, but it's not present in canola. So canola is a typical, very topical example of altered foods in which the content of these anti-nutritional factors have been reduced to a zero level. Similarly, trans-free fats you can see in the market. Yeah, normally the vegetable ghee, which is known as a hydrogenated vegetable ghee, naspati in the sense, it has a significant amount of trans fatty acids. Basically, naturally all oils have fatty acids which have a cis configuration. nature has blessed all oils with the fatty acid in their cis configuration. There is no any fatty acid naturally present in oils. However, during hydrogenation, when hydrogen is passed through the soil to convert into a vegetable ghee, a substantial part of these fatty acids is converted into trans. Because trans is energetically, more stable, and this cis is energetically less stable. So always the cis fatty acid, when they got opportunity, they try to go shift into the trans form. Especially a typical example is the oleic acid. Oleic acid is a major fatty acid present in many oils, like canola, olive, and almost all oils have oleic acid. Olive oil is the richest source of oleic acid. Then comes the canola, and like soybean, sunflower, all they do have. So especially when you pass hydrogenation, this oleic acid is converted into lactic acid. And you can imagine just with the change of functional groups in cis form, they are present on the one side, the molecule is imbalanced. When these bulky groups are shifted to the opposite side of the carbon-carbon double bond, this becomes a trans. There is nothing change in the molecular formula. It's the same compound, just due to shifting of these bulky groups across the double bond. When it converts from cis to trans fatty acid, the melting point goes to 43, approximately 44 degrees Celsius. And the normal melting point of oleic acid is at 14 degrees Celsius. So you can guess, just due to shifting of the fatty acid, the melting point jumps from 14 to 44 or 43 degrees Celsius. So you can guess the body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So if you are taking any fat which is rich in trans, so ultimately what will happen? It will cause cardiovascular disease. It will choke your arteries because it will not be melting at the body temperature. So this is the side effect of foods, especially fats which are rich in trans fatty acids. And our industry is producing new products which are trans free. We can use some selective technologies. We can use some selective catalysts rather than using the nickel. Nickel is normally used as a catalyst in industry, but you can use liquid copper catalyst, and there are some other selective catalysts which can be used to reduce the transformation. And another process is interacerification, which is also now industry using to produce trans-free fats. Interacerification basically is the rearrangement of the fatty acids on the glassine. It's a random rearrangement. Just the arrangement of the fatty acid is changed on the backbone of glassine, and the magnetic properties are changed. Okay, so this is two typical examples. Similarly, you can see many other products available in the market. Enhanced commodities, especially golden rice, which is enriched with enhanced beta carotene content, is available. Enhanced production of vitamin E in different vegetables, in different fruits. Similarly, we can also have a high oleic sunflower oil. Recently produced sunflower oil is high in linoleic. It's a creatine root 2 rich oil, but a new variety of sunflower oil has been introduced, which is rich in oleic acid. That is known as the high oleic sunflower oil. Similarly, lycopene enhanced tomatoes and high lysine corn and fruits and vegetables with enriched content of vitamins, they are available. And potatoes even having exceptional carotenoid. Here you can see some of the best, functional foods, especially I try to classify them on the basis of their contents. You can see a variety of foods which are rich in high antioxidants, especially fruits, vegetables, soft fruits, especially choke cherries, blueberries, and cereal as well, especially rice bran and wheat bran and other products related to the cereals. They are very rich source of different types of antioxidant compounds, including the tocopherols and vitamins, and especially the polyphenols. Then you can have another class of foods which are probiotic, especially these include fermented products. And they are the cultured foods such as yogurt, and many other fermented products are available in the market. They are very helpful for the growth of beneficial bacteria. And prebiotics are those foods which are especially based on dietary fiber, which are based on like crabs, and they are rich in oligosaccharides. They are also helpful for the growth of microbial, these beneficial microbes. Yeah, omega-3, especially rich foods, you can see in the market, especially flaxseed oil, which is one of the richest source of omega-3. And then you can see fish oils. Fish is another very important source of different types of long chain fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA, eicosapentaenoic acid and eicosapentaenoic acid. And you can see high fiber foods, especially brands, which are very important to control and reduce the incidence of cardiovascular diseases. Nuts and seeds, especially, they are consumed regularly, and this is one of the best way of obtaining the healthy fats. Another very important type of foods includes the teas, herbs, and spices. These spices have preservative effect. They have antioxidant. They are not used as a preservative as a flavoring agent, but they also have multiple biological and nutraceutical potential. Here in this table, you can see some of the highly rich foods, including the tomatoes, blueberries, fermented, and walnut, especially broccoli, vegetables, and fish, and whole grains as a very good source of different types of carotenoids and flavonoids and other bioactive peptides, especially, and polyphenols, and some glycosinolates and vitamins. Especially fish is rich in omega-3, especially EPA and DHA. And the grains, cereals, they are a good source of different types of flavonoids. You can see their potential nutraceutical properties in the last column. Mostly they can support your cardiovascular health. They can act as an antioxidant and as an anti-carcinogenic agents in many cases. Basically, in civilization diseases, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer are the most prevalent diseases. So these foods are very helpful to control these civilization diseases. Functional food products in the market. I will be passing these slides a little bit fastly. You can see many products which are commonly you see, and you are taking these foods daily, fruits and vegetables. You can see many soft drinks in the available market, which are rich in certain bioactive compounds, polyphenols, and some vitamins. Breads, cereal products, bakery products are available. And here you can see another group of different juices and bakery and other products available in the market, which are rich in certain bioactive principles, and their health effects are because of the presence of these bioactive components. Yeah, moringa, I also placed a few of the moringa-based products you can see in the market, especially moringa powder, moringa tea, and moringa oil is available. So moringa is becoming a wonderful industry, and especially in Philippines and Pakistan, in India, and even in here, I see some of the products which are based on moringa. Yeah, some calcium enriched juices are available. If some people have allergy to milk, we can use alternative option of such products. Yeah. As far as the future perspective of this industry is concerned, there are different driving forces which are responsible for the development of this science and this industry, including the market trends, and food industry is now focusing on innovation, modern food technologies, and the aging population is another factor. Because in the old age, especially of stress-related diseases are common, and especially the use of such functional food is growing. The people are more conscious about the health. This is a health-conscious society, and consumers are more confident because of the scientific basis and very strong scientific support is available. You can have modern technologies, even the scientific community is studying the function of the nutrients at the genomic level, how these different bioactive components interact with the genes and how they shape your health and disease. Similarly, self-medication is also becoming a trend. People believe that they can use like plant-based food, especially there is a revival of interest in the use of plants as a source of food and medicine. And this is, very important aspect. Rather than using the allopathic medicine, you can focus on some plant-based treatments. And another driving force is the regulatory perspectives. Most of the countries are now focusing on regulation, especially Japan is a leading country who already have more than 1,000 functional food already categorized, and they have rules and regulations. Similarly, in Europe, in Canada, in North America, and even in Asia, the countries are focusing on development of rules and regulations, definitions, standardization of the products, and the health claims are also being brought under certain rules and regulations. So all these factors contribute to development of this science. Yeah, the global trend, you can see this has a huge market, approximately $280 billion US market currently is captured by this industry. Especially, and the growth rate is very high, approximately by the rate of around 8%. This industry is growing, this market is growing. And you can see the major share of different products in functional foods, like especially bakery and products and cereals are at the top. Then dairy products, soya-based products are there, and meat and fish eggs. You can see from this globe the contribution of different types of products. Yeah. Here, especially the US market is also growing very fast with regard to the functional food and nutraceutical market, especially. It's $100+ billion. Yeah, if you see the regional perspective, North American region is the leading region who is contributing, who has a share of about 35% in this market globally. Here in this slide, you can see the functional food market trends in terms of regional outlook. North American region is the leading in this product, in this industry. Then comes the Europe and Asia Pacific, Central and South America, and Middle East and Africa at the bottom. And in terms of ingredient outlook, you can see you can have a variety of products available, especially carotenoids, dietary fibers, these essential fatty acids, especially the omega-3 fatty acids, minerals, and pre and probiotics and vitamins and others. You can see another aspect is on the basis of application side. You can see there are many products, especially belonging to sports nutrition and weight management, immunity, digestive health products are available. Clinical nutrition products are, cardio health protective products are available. And product outlook, you can see the bakery and cereals are the leading products in this market. Then comes the dairy products, meat, fish, and so on. Yeah, in different countries, there are regulatory bodies who are controlling this industry and developing new standards and regulatory frameworks. Like in Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, and Japan, and other countries, United Nations. These are some of the regulatory bodies who are focusing on development and about the exact definition, about the dosage, about the standardization, and other development of regulatory standards. Yeah. Overview of the health-related claims in different countries. There are different claims, like in American claims, about the content, what's the content of these foods. Similarly, about the structure and function claims are there, and then American claims also include the health claims. So on the product, you can see these three different types of claims. If you come to the Japanese region, then you can see the claims are mostly food with health claims. You can find health claims, especially regulatory, ordinary foods for specialized health users, and also there are certain claims for the reduction or lowering the incidence of different diseases. In European region, mostly you can see the contents and functional claims on the products. Yeah, consumers' preference and acceptance of different types of functional foods. There are different factors, especially consumer-related factors and then product-related aspects. Among the consumer-related attributes, you can see there are some personal attributes, including the age, gender of the population, health, consciousness, familiarity, and awareness about these foods, income, education, and then physiological state like health motivation, consumer attitude, and benefits and risk analysis. And then comes the cultural and social traditions in some cases. So all these attributes contribute to the limitations and development of the science. As far as the product related characteristics are concerned, you can see the price. Definitely the prices are a matter of concern. Similarly, the taste, in most of the cases, these products may not have a very pleasant taste in presence of these bioactive components. And then the brand, package features and labelings, all these important factors which contribute to the development of this science. Here we have a few slides about the future research concerns. Definitely, this science is a very resource intensive science, needs a lot of resources in terms of financial resources, in terms of research resources, and there's a need to collaborate, especially the identification and development and establishment of functional food and nutraceutical. Typically, it requires a foundational knowledge of food chemists and especially the people working in the biological field, and especially including the food chemists and pharmaceutical industry. All they should join hands together for the development of this science, especially in terms of product and process development, process innovation, in terms of their health-related claims and nutritional nutraceutical attributes, and as far as quality and safety concerns are there. Here, the sustainability and the model shows you there, starting from the basic research to coming to the clinical, and then you have the product development through certain prototypes you can develop. So the journey of this science starts. This industry starts with the basic research where you can identify different components, you can explore, you can evaluate, you can characterize different bioactive components, you can extract them, and after extraction, definitely they can be used as a nutraceutical. They can be fortified or spiked with some products for the development of different types of functional foods. And then comes the next stage, which is the clinical trials to see the safety of these products, especially starting with the in vitro trials in the laboratory. We go to the animal trials, in vivo trials, and then at the last comes the human subjects. So definitely, ultimately, we have to go on the human subjects for the clinical trials. Still, there is a lot of gap, and still there is an unsaturation in this, especially in this regard for the improvement of health. Yeah, here you can go through this article where you can find new novel techniques, especially high resolution techniques like LCMS, LCMS-MS, and GCMS, and other important techniques which can be used for the isolation, for the characterization, for the structural elucidation of these high value components, ultimately for design and development of any product. Definitely the structural elucidation, identification, biological activities and their biological potential is very important to be first investigated. Yeah, omics, especially omics technology is becoming a wonderful technique and wonderful approach in the development of this science, especially the proteomics and metabolomics techniques. Here you can see, starting with the genomics sequencing, especially genomics and proteomics and transcriptomics and metabolomics, and all these are the important areas which can play a key role in the development of this science, especially nowadays. Much focus of the scientific communities on nutrigenomics. In nutrigenomics, the scientific community is engaged to study the function of the nutrients at the genomic level. Whatever you are taking, definitely it's interacting with the genomic makeup of the body, and ultimately it will have implications in mental disease. If you are taking like fruits, vegetables, you are healthy, and there is a remarkable scientific support available, which shows that very strong evidence that diets rich in fruits, vegetables, they are healthy because they can reduce the incidence of different diseases, they can improve your health. Okay, so the use of these techniques, especially omics technology, is an amazing tool in future. You can develop and you can control and you can standardize these products using these novel techniques. Yeah, here use of especially metabolomics is another very important area which needs to be addressed with the provision of high resolution technique like LCMS, LCMS, NMS, and even we have LCMS, NMR type of very sophisticated techniques where you can couple the separation ability of the chromatography with the spectroscopic powerful tool, and it can be used for the structural elucidation of different types of functional components during the development of these products. Yeah. Another article I just showed here where you can see how metabolomics approach is helpful for the development of this industry and these products on standard basis. Yeah. This is one side shows you the aspect of nutrigenomics. And this is the most, latest wave in nutritional science, nutrigenomics, where the scientific community is engaged to study the function of the nutrients at the genomic level. And a time will come when there would be a chance that personalized diets can be built. And like for one particular society, for one particular segment of society, in terms of age factors, the product maybe in future can be developed using that, like high powerful identification of nutrigenomics tools. Yeah. Here are certain challenges, especially the identification, sustainable resources of functional biocomponent are very important. And there is a concern about the quality and authenticity of the foods. You can focus on novel food processing techniques, and especially the production of these biocomponent is also one challenge. And then comes the screening stage where you can go for in vivo, in vitro trials using animal models or laboratory trials after coming to the human clinical trials. The safety and efficacy of these products is a very important issue. And for clinical trials using the human, we can develop different types of biomarkers and genotyping of techniques can be used to cope with the challenges. Yeah, another very important aspect is the sustainable food production. Definitely the quality of the raw material is very important when you are designing or developing any product as far as sustainability of the food is concerned. So, especially in this area, the science, the society, consumers, policymakers, and food technology, all these are the important stakeholders. They have to play a very important role for the future sustainable functional food production. Yeah, in the last few slides, there are certain issues which need to be addressed on an immediate basis. Especially there is a need to demonstrate safety of the functional foods at efficacy level, especially, and this should be quite flexible, and sensitivity of to sub groups should be considered. Maybe one population or one gender may be sensitive, the other one may be less sensitive. And there is a need to identify individual biological responses to functional foods. And many bioactive components are unstable as far as oxidation is concerned due to thermal degradation, and physiological or physical instability is there, especially due to presence of moisture, oxygen. And there is a need to define bioavailability of functional foods, because the bioavailability of these functional components is also a very important issue, especially like polyphenols. If they are present in insoluble bond form, they are less bioavailable. So we should focus on enhancing the bioavailability of these functional components when we are using these products. Use of green technologies for the extraction of these high-value components to incorporate in different products is a challenging task, because the conventional methods in most of the cases they rely upon use of flammable toxic solvents. So new techniques like the use of biosolvents, where we can use like bioethanol, we can use fatty methyl esters, glycerol can be used as a biosolvent, especially those solvents which are biodegradable, which are environment friendly. Similarly, the use of supercritical fluid extraction, use of subcritical water extraction, and this is a wonderful new technique recently developed, where you can use water as a green solvent, and water is the most greener solvent. But water has a, inorganic nature. You cannot use water for the extraction of many of the organic compounds, which are, polar nature. Although water is the most polar, because water has a different dielectric constant value. Its dielectric constant value is 78. If you see the list of different solvents, water is at the top, water is at the bottom because of highest dielectric constant value, and the hexane or cyclohexane are at the top with least dielectric constant value of around 2. So in subcritical water extraction, we can use water. And this is just the, same way you are using supercritical carbon dioxide in supercritical fluid extraction. Carbon dioxide gas is converted into a supercritical state by exerting a certain pressure, critical temperature and pressure, and this carbon dioxide from the gaseous form is converted into supercritical carbon dioxide. Supercritical carbon dioxide or supercritical substances are those substances which have a dual nature. They have some properties where, just like the gases, the others are just like the liquids. So in supercritical carbon dioxide extraction, you can have a very effective, very efficient extraction because of the dual nature of this supercritical carbon dioxide. Same way, water properties can be changed through this novel new technique, and the dielectric constant value of water can be brought very close to the methanol and ethanol technique. Methanol has a dielectric constant value of around 35, and ethanol has a like 26 around. So the dielectric constant value from 78, the original, can be brought to like 30 or 28 by using this subcritical water extraction process, and then you can use this technique over a broad range of applications for the isolation and extraction of a variety of compounds. Ultrasound assisted extraction, plant milking technology is a new concept. We can use this technology for the targeted, isolation and production of high value components. Many bioactive compounds may have a negative impact on the organoleptic properties, especially there is a need to focus on organoleptic properties of these products. Many existing delivery systems, they are not suitable for targeted delivery of these bioactive components. So novel techniques like micro nanotechnological developments are there. Nano encapsulation, micro encapsulation can be used for targeted delivery. Similarly, there is a concern for the development of sustainable food vehicles for bioactive components delivery, which are appropriate for intended consumers, which can be delivered at desired levels and desired targets with enhanced acceptability, stability, and bioavailability. Yeah, there are some related issues like the public health education and the investment. It's a resource intensive industry, a lot of funding is needed. So there is a need to bridge this gap. There is a lack of knowledge in intellectual property protection. This is also another important concern, and insufficient coordination of research activities, because this is a research which needs the cooperation of like food scientists, chemists, pharmacists. So all they should be together for the development of this science. And limited financial sources is always an issue in many cases, and a small number of large companies have a monopoly. This is also one barrier. A small group cannot enter into this market. You have a huge, big players who are controlling this industry, and there is a need for scientifically trained personals, because this is a research intensive field, and there is also a need for looking and exploring new markets which have maximum potential, especially Southeast Asia as a hub of biodiversity, and as a source of lot of medicinal plants it has a huge potential for this market. Yeah, okay, I think the last slide, may I conclude, this presentation, definitely functional food, industry, especially based on the use of high value bioactive components, either from plant sources or from marine sources or from animals, and it can improve the health of communities, especially those who are at the risk of different diseases, especially these foods are very important to prove the challenge of civilization diseases, especially the diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and certain cancers, especially oxidative stress-related aging inflammation. And the use of new cutting-edge technologies such as omics techniques, proteomics, metabolomics, and nutrigenomics. So such novel and new innovative areas, and these technologies are very important, and they can be used for the development of specific functional foods for targeted populations and groups, especially to control different specific diseases like allergy and diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular diseases. There is a prompt research need for standardization of these products because the dosage is a very important issue. So their standardization is a serious concern. And similarly, the bioavailability, the efficacy, and the organoleptic properties of these foods needs to be studied and investigated. Similarly, the functional food industry, as you know, is a resource-intensive industry, both in terms of financial resources and both in terms of basic research and technology. So it needs a lot of resources. Although these foods possess nutritional benefits as well as they have nutraceutical and medicinal value, and they have some health benefits. So these foods can be used, although, but still there is a gap of the market. If you compare with the conventional food, the functional food market is not competing the conventional foods. However, in future, we can use these products to cover the issues of health, especially these cardiovascular, diabetes, and this type of celiac diseases. And can be we can meet this challenge by developing standardized products using novel, innovative approaches, novel, innovative process. With this, I would like to extend my thanks and thank you for your patience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof, for your sharing. Very informative session. So I believe we have a few questions from online participants. Before that, I would like to open to the participant in the room first. Do you have any questions you want to ask? Yeah, it's fine.
Hello, Prof. I just wanted to ask about margarine. Does it actually contain trans fat? Because as I know, margarine undergoes process of hydrogenation where it convert from cis to trans. But the FDA right now, it stated that it doesn't allow trans to be in food. So yes, so I'm just wondering, do margarine actually contain trans?
Yeah, basically, trans is mostly formed. Thank you for your theory. And definitely, trans is basically found during hydrogenation, which is the major source of trans. When vegetable oil is hydrogenated in the presence of nickel catalyst, hydrogen is passed, and these cis fatty acids are converted to trans. So, if you are using like these hydrogenated fats for development of any shortenings or vegetable, definitely trans would be there. Otherwise, if you are using some new like technologies which doesn't allow the transformation, and margarines, even butter. Definitely, if you are developing margarine from some hydrogenated vegetable oil, they do have trans fats. But if you are using like new technologies, for example, interesterification approach, it does not allow the formation of trans fatty acids because there is no hydrogenation in interesterification. Just interesterification is the process of rearranging the fatty acids on the glycerol moiety. And with this random change of the fatty acid position, the properties of fat are changed. Basically, why we hydrogenate? Basically, we are interested to have properties which are necessary for some technical needs like melting profile, crystal structure. These more, especially like in some cultures, especially for use in traditional cooking. Okay, so if you are developing like shortenings or margarines which are used in bakery industry and they are derived from some hydrogenated based process, they do have trans fatty acid, unless otherwise, if we are not using any technology which can produce trans-free like vegetable ghee, especially the use of selective patterns. Okay, and even the butter, animal butter, it do have some amount of the trans. You will be thinking from where the trans is coming. Basically, in the stomach of the ruminants, there is another process known as the biological hydrogenation. So as a result of biological hydrogenation, which is also known as microbial hydrogenation, a small amount of the trans fatty acid may also form in the butter. And we have tested approximately 1 to like 3-4% trans is also present in some of the brands of butter. The butter is not, hydrogenated fat. This is an animal-based fat. Yeah. Okay, so the issue is trans is like a bad fat. Okay, so any product having trans, especially previously they were allowed like up to 5%, but now they are talking about the zero trans. Yeah, like you are telling, definitely now they are looking for foods, especially having fat which is trans-free.
Any more questions? The food for mental health.
Perhaps,
Mental health. The food, functional food for the mental
yeah,
health.
basically
Any example?
all food which contain some like polyphenols, they are neuroprotective. Okay, so any foods, any functional products which have some, especially these polyphenols, because polyphenols not only act as an antioxidant, they have a broad range of biological potential, especially in terms of very strong antimicrobial activity. They are also neuroprotective. They also have antidiabetic activity as far as is concerned with the oxidation process, because oxidation is directly linked with the diabetes, also in other senses. So all natural antioxidant components also are gaining attention as natural antidiabetic agents. So especially these quercetin, flavonoids, camphorol, these are also neuroprotective compounds. So any product having like any juices which are spiked or fortified with this type of polyphenol rich extracts derived from fruits, especially cranberries, stock cherries, they are important in terms of neuroprotection.
Yeah, thank you for the presentations. I have two questions. First, standardization. For the research, when we conduct in labs, so how should we do standardization? And in an industrial scale, how the industrial do the standardization? And then is any of the guidelines that we follow for the standardization?
Yeah, because there, like Japan has built certain standards, and in Japan, more than 1,000 functional food products have already been categorized. But in most of the countries, still there is a big concern for the standardization. Even there is no universally accepted definition of functional food until now. Different, like you see, US Department has a different definition, like Canadian Institute has a different definition, although the theme of all definition is the same. Okay, so still there is a gap in this research and this industry, especially in terms of regulatory standards, in terms of regulatory framework. There is a lot of to do further in this research, especially standardization is very important. Because if you are working in the laboratory, especially you will start with the from the in vitro trial to go to the in vivo trials first, not directly going to the human subjects. This is the standard way of going for development of any product. So after you extract any high value components, you isolate them and you must characterize them, and then you see the biological activities of those extracts. And you can scientifically link that these biological activities can be activated due to presence of these certain class of functional components. And then the next stage would be in vivo trial, we use some animal models. Okay, and then at the last we come the human subjects, and in human genders specificity and age, even population to population, definitely as allopathic medicine need specific standardization, and you have a standard products like 500 milligram dose, 200 milligram for adults, for children, for different segments of population. Yes, but still, mostly the products which are available in the market, they have like a health claim. They are not giving you very specific type of claim that this is very helpful or this can directly target this disease. No, mostly they are asking, these are the healthy food, like in Malaysia. These functional foods are named as the healthy food. Still, the government is working on this. They are named as the healthy food. So same is the case in many countries. But for nutraceutical, although they already have quite standard, like nutraceutical is a more sophisticated like product which is isolated from any functional food and it is sold in the dosage form. So definitely, if you go to the market, you can see the nutraceuticals and their doses is mentioned. Even their health claims are also categorized. But for functional foods, normally they are not claiming a specific claim. They just have an overall claim. Okay, this is a healthy food. This is healthy for cardiovascular or for this particular gastrointestinal health. This way they are claiming, not very specific. That is due to lack of these strict regulations. Yeah, still there is a lot of to do in this, especially in this area. Any
more questions?
On this side, because we have some questions from like online participants.
Okay, so maybe we go to the online. Yes, your question?
Yeah, you are thinking this. Okay.
Right, please.
Okay, thank you for those who are attending physically. Now we have online questions. The question will come from Mr. Safil. So our alumni for program Master Food Safety and Quality Assurance. The question is, Prof, is it there is a mistake in fortified and enriched food definitions?
Yes, yes.
Is it any
No,
mistake?
there is a difference. There is a difference in both fortification and enrichment. Like technically speaking, they are both the same. You are adding some of the components. In fortification, mostly we add those nutrients like vitamins or minerals which are lost during processing. Like the food already has, for example, vegetable oil, they have tocopherols. So most of the tocopherols are destroyed during processing, like during bleaching, refining, and deodorization. So after the product is developed, we can add some vitamins, especially you can see in the market vegetable oil, they have vitamin A, D, and E. They are added. So this is a fortification. But for enrichment, mostly we can add those components which normally they are not normally present in the food. The basic theme is the same, but only this is a little bit difference.
All right. Okay, thank you. Second question is from Miss Zula, I think. Is it there is any increasing demand on nutraceutical food after pandemic COVID-19?
Makan tak bagi tahu, dia akan bagi tahu sendiri.
Yeah.
Okay? So bila kata
Question. I am not from the market side, but anyway, definitely this pandemic has created a lot of chaos and especially the health of the people and communities across the world has been affected. So this food industry, especially functional food and nutraceutical, they are growing. And you can see it's a fast growing industry with a current market of around $280 billion. This market is growing very fast, especially about a rate of 8.5%. And after like next couple of years, especially around 2030, the market may be double as is present in the current state of current scenario. So for like, especially for the treatment of this pandemic, the vaccine has been developed. And definitely the use of plant-based food is also growing because the people are more conscious, they are interested to develop immunity because this is all the story of immunity, basically. So if you are focusing on plant-based foods, especially functional foods, which are rich in different types of bioactive components, definitely you can incidence the chance of such pandemics.
All right, good. Thank you, Prof, for the answers. The next question is from Ms. Farhana. What is the health claim procedure for product in Malaysia? What are we lacking in regulations as compared to those countries? Yeah.
Yeah, in Malaysia, this is also an emerging industry, and in Malaysia particularly, these foods are named as health foods, not like with a specific other term. Currently, they are using a healthy foods like term. And these healthy foods basically can give you an indication of the overall health well-being. There are no specific claims given on the product, and still government and different industries, they are working on the development of strict regulations, although they are quite different from the pharmaceuticals. They cannot be controlled by the drug authorities, but they are interested and they have serious concerns, drug authorities. So this is the one barrier. And at the moment, you can just claim like as a healthy food. You cannot have a very strict or very logical claim for these products. Still, like other countries, especially Japan, they have established very good protocols for standardization, and they have even categorized different products. But in other countries, even including Europe and in North America, where this science is the maximum growing, the huge market is from North America. Then comes the Europe and other countries. And still, there is no very strict regulation, and still scientific community, they are working together, different bodies are working together, and there is a still gap to develop a specific universally accepted definition of functional food, and the particular claims and the logic for their claims, such things needs to be further addressed.
All right, Prof, thank you for the answers. The second last question from Mrs. Nur Zaleha. She also our alumni. Prof, what are your comments on consumer perception that functional foods are always unpalatable, and how this can be overcome?
Yeah, this is a very important issue and a very important concern, because the organoleptic properties of any food are very important as far as consumption of any food is concerned. Definitely the taste should be pleasant and appealing and acceptable for the consumers. So consumers' acceptability, particularly with regard to organoleptic properties, is very important. And still many of the foods, still they do not have very pleasant organoleptic properties. Even this moringa powder, if you take like a half teaspoon directly, it's very difficult to consume, because the taste is quite different. So what the industry is doing, they are adding in like some drinks, some tea, this type of products by blending with some other flavors. They are changing their original taste. So the organoleptic properties of such products can be improved by the addition of any other pleasant aromas or any other product ingredients. which can at least reduce the unfavorable or unpleasant taste. I have given you a typical example of even moringa and leaf powder. You can dry the moringa leaves and grind it to form a powder, and this powder can be directly taken. So mostly you can find the capsule of moringa powder in the market. Why? Because it's quite difficult to directly take. Similarly, flaxseed, you can grind them flaxseed, which is a very rich source of linolenic acid, omega-3 fatty acid. And flaxseed, due to presence of tannins and lignans, also have a quite bitter taste. And what you can do, you can extract oil, and this oil, because of the high content of omega-3, can be directly taken, like a small teaspoon you can take. Okay. Yeah, this is very important. Organoleptic acceptability of the consumer is very important, and still there is a room for development, especially the option is to blend. Mostly the products are in the form of like soft drinks, not in pure original form. Please.
All right, thank you, bro, for the answers. This is the last question from Mr. Zaki, which is our alumni as well. BSM program, graduated 2010. Currently doing Master of Sports Science in UITM. So the question is, I would like to ask Prof. Farooq about ethical aspect of the consumption of functional food product, as there is no absolute framework of the dosage provided by the organization or regulation. Some may use functional food product as a part of treating some health condition. Some may use as an ergogenic aids in physical performance, such as in sports. And I noticed a major study to identifying the optimal dosage on interested field of study, but there is no translation into clinical aspect, or maybe just a general recommended dosage. So I think it's about the dosage.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, this is a serious concern still. Most of the foods which are available in the market, if you see, they are mostly derived from those plants which are mostly known for their food value. Okay, like moringa is a food plant. So people don't have any issue because they are using moringa as a food component since a long time. Like the fruits, the leaves, the flowers of this plant have been cooked. They are used as a food component. So mostly those plants which are the food plants, and the consumer, the people have more confidence, especially on those products which are derived from like olive. Olive is a food plant. Okay, and products derived from such type of food plants which have already been used since a long time on the basis of medicinal knowledge, the people have more confidence. As far as other product is concerned, this is a serious concern, the dosage especially, because except Japan, because they have quite strict regulations and regulatory framework, and other countries still are in the process of developing the regulations, especially for these standardization of doses. You need a time for human clinical trials, especially, and this is also a big issue to have the clinical trialing and putting the people because they don't have confidence on many of the foods which are like a new, which have been extracted many components from different plants which have been new explored. So still the dosage standardization is a big issue, and especially the countries where this science is leading, like in North American region and Europe and like US, they should follow, or they should get cooperation from like Japan, especially Japanese are quite leading in this science, and we can use their expertise, their experience, especially their regulatory framework can be followed for the development, especially in terms of standardization and dosage of such products.
Right, thank you, Prof. I think that will end our seminar today. Right, so I think a lot of information shared by Prof. So please join me to thank Prof. Farooq for sharing the vast experience in this area. Right? Okay, shall we meet until we meet again? Before that, can we take a picture? So that you guys get to the front, and I will snap to the PC. And for those online, please turn on your camera for a while. Boleh, ke depan, ke depan. Please come to the front so that can snap the picture together. Yeah. Depan. Please come. So we use that camera, my phone camera. So okay, Prof. Farooq, okay. Right. Then we can make 2 line.
Or can send to people.
Right, okay. Please hold on. I will count 1, 2, 3 for the first slide. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This is first slide. Prof. Aziza ada situ. Cikgu. Right. Okay, second panel. And third panel, right? Okay. All right, so thank you guys. So please fill the evaluation form. We will send you the e-certificate for attending the seminar. And if you wish to have the notes, the recorded link, we also will share you together with the email. Right? So I think we meet again. Thank you for your time. Thank you for effort to come. Yeah, right. Assalamualaikum. Thank you all for coming, online participants.